Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Thursday, the 2nd of December. A nice early winter day across the state. Second day of meteorological winter. But boy, next week is looking so cold. Now, let's take a look at some of the shots around the network. These were captured this morning about 6:45 as the sun was coming up. Isn't that nice? That's coming from Gadsden. You can see the Coosa River down below. A few high clouds giving the sky a really nice texture. Here's the same shot coming from Cullman and from Clanton. Really nice sunrise early this morning. Man, was it cold. It was as cold as 21 in Alabama this morning. That was the low over at the small community of Muscadine in Cleburne County. It was 22 in Broomtown up in Cherokee County this morning. Tonight will be cold, but not as cold. Here's the current view, and you can see a few high clouds, cirrus clouds. That's the view coming from Cullman. We'll check the water vapor satellite imagery, and we've got that persistent northwest flow aloft, and occasionally a little disturbance will come down in the flow. And actually, we've got one that's passing just north of us, and you can see a few echoes on radar showing up over extreme northwest Alabama. But keep in mind the dew point, it's about 20 in Muscle Shoals, so that stuff is not reaching the ground, and that will scoot by basically uneventful this evening. Don't expect any issues there. We'll check out temperatures. They're mostly in the low 50s, a little below guidance. We talked about mid-50s today. It's 51 for Anniston, 52 in Gadsden, Birmingham 53. Tuscaloosa is up at 56 degrees at 2 o'clock. And up on the watch warning map, no major storm systems to deal with right now. Got a few issues in scattered pockets up north with winter weather advisories, but again, nothing of a serious nature. And the QPF chart, this is the precipitation for the next 5 days, valid through Tuesday morning of next week at 6 o'clock, and this shows nothing across the state. Maybe a few sprinkles over the northeast corner, and I think that's right. We'll have the chance of a few sprinkles Saturday evening with a clipper-type system coming by, but the lack of moisture should mean nothing really significant. Let's take a look. This is the GFS, the 12Z run, valid at 12 noon tomorrow. Again, got that northwest flow aloft. Down below that, we're dry. Tomorrow, we'll start the day probably in the low and mid-30s and warm up a little bit during the day with afternoon highs right around 60. Saturday starting off the weekend, here comes that little clipper, and you can see a little green showing up there. But again, remember, the low-level moisture is just insignificant. So there could be a few sprinkles Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, but no big deal. Should be pretty mild. We're now thinking we might reach the mid-60s, low and mid-60s on Saturday. But don't get used to it, because here comes cold air in the wake of the clipper on Sunday. The winds turn back into the north, and we have cold air advection. Highs mid-40s. What's showing up on the latest GFS. 46 is the high printed for Sunday. And next week, yeah, it's going to get cold. Big polar vortex sits up over eastern Canada. And down below that, you can see that the cold air advection process continues. The high Monday will be in the mid-40s. And Tuesday, the thickness values drop even more. And again, we're going to have a hard time getting out of the 30s on Tuesday. I'll tell you, that's going to be a cold day. Birmingham might see 40 if that's right, but Cullman and places north of Birmingham, Gadsden, Hamilton, they'll be in the 30s, and that icy wind will make it feel colder. And Wednesday morning, that's when the bottom could drop out. The GFS is showing 22, but I wouldn't be shocked if we saw 18 or 19, and that's for most places early Wednesday. And during the day Wednesday, again, we'll be in the 30s much of the day. Thursday of next week, we'll start to moderate a little bit. And then Friday, the 10th, here comes the next little weather system to the west. And then we'll check the 11th, and it's got the system on by, but we note the European is much more bullish on the 11th. This is Saturday, December 11th, showing a big rain event here with another blast of cold air coming behind that. So again, the GFS on the dry side, the European looking pretty wet, and we'll, of course, that's way out there in voodoo country. We'll resolve that later. We'll check the end of the forecast now. The GFS all of a sudden shows the polar jet shifting north, and if that's right, we'll warm up. The cold air trapped up just north of us with a big 140 millibar high over North Dakota, but again, that remains to be seen if that can happen. But certainly for the next 2 weeks, Weather looks awfully cold around here, so get ready. That's it for the Weather Extreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.